Are the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, are they going to be one and done with Josh McDaniels at the head coaching position? They acquired Devontae Adams, paid him a boatload. One catch for 3 yards, no matter if he was sick, not sick, injured, you don't have a guy like that catch one ball for 3 yards. On top of that, if you're this offensive guru, you don't get blanked. It's not like anything changed from Rich Bisaccia. You still have Carr, you still have Jacobs, you still have Renfro, you still have offensive weapons. You got Adams in the lineup, but you put up 0 points against the New Orleans Saints. And when I look at this team, they thought they really got something when they got Josh McDaniels. He's coming in, he's going to change the culture. They went out and spent big on the defensive side of the ball, spent big on the offensive side of the ball. And they, too, are now probably going to miss the playoffs just based on the way that they played this season. It's ridiculous to think that the Raiders possibly could be moving on from their head coach. The fans in Las Vegas certainly are chanting, "Fire Josh McDaniels."
Why hasn't McDaniels worked out for the Las Vegas Raiders?
It's a good question, Coach. I really don't know. They're sitting at 2-5 right now. Obviously, they lose that heartbreaker to the Arizona Cardinals. But it doesn't seem like they're playing inspiring football. Like it's almost like they don't really understand what it is to be a Raider, like what it means, all of those sort of things. They're just not. I don't see the same Raider fight that the Raiders historically was the most penalized team in the National Football League, but still winning all the time. They play with a certain nastiness, dirty fight to them. Like, I don't see that out of these Raider teams anymore, or Raider team this year, so to speak. There's something that's missing. And maybe it's the way Josh McDaniels have inserted his ability and his style into the team and the organization, and they got to get used to being that way.
Key, I would say this, too. I mean, look, a lot of it is on Josh McDaniels. Derek Carr hasn't been having a good season either, man. I mean, he hasn't been having a good season. So, when you talk about what came off last year, I get it, inspiring football, and the way he spoke up with things that happened with Henry Ruggs, other things that happened on the team. He played inspiring football last year. Now, if you want to say that's due to an acclimation period along with Josh McDaniels and their playbook changing, fine. But if you're Devontae Adams, you're sitting here saying, yo, man, I had 1 catch off 5 targets yesterday. This has been a common theme since I've been here. There has to be blame on Derek Carr as well.
I know he's one of your guys.
Of course, Carr has played poor. There's no question about it. But it also is a part of the system and what they're doing. And when you are getting something new like a quarterback, now, should he be up to speed by now? Of course he should be. There's no taking up for Carr. He deserves some of the blame too. But the conversation is more about the coach because the quarterback is still there. The coach that was there a year ago is no longer.
I don't know if the conversation is only about the coach, man. I don't know about that. I mean, we've been having conversations about Derek Carr for a while now. I mean, and it's about, what does he need to do to get over the hump and out there in Las Vegas. And I'm looking at Andy Dalton's stat line, and I know we just don't live in a world full of stat lines here, but like Andy Dalton outplayed Derek Carr.
But Key, I totally agree with Jay here. You're right to say the headline is the coach, right? But now there are other things to talk about too. We cover the coach. Look, they like Bisaccia. They played for him. This is not working out so far with McDaniels. But the next thing is what you just point out also speaks to the coach. In certain situations, Dalton can succeed. But Key, if Derek Carr's one of those dudes, then he's not like you usually have him at the top of the second bucket, straddling the first. But it seems to me like he's had enough opportunity in his career. Yeah, he's not a bad quarterback, but he's not that.
He's not. And he's not. He has shown this year to not have the ability to be able to get his team to where they need to be. It's showing.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. But it goes back to the coaching, though. When you have a coach, see, Tom Brady hides a lot of stuff. He just does. Mm-hmm. I mean, he really does. When you have been coaching a Tom Brady for so long, sometimes you can be overvalued, complacent, all of those sort of things. And I think when the Raiders made the decision to move on from Coach Bisaccia that they targeted an offensive-minded guy who maybe second time around would do a much better job. Yeah. Well, guess what? This second time around doesn't look very good. And now all of a sudden, a quarterback that was playing a year ago at a certain level is playing down. But what changed? The coaches changed. All of a sudden, if you told me that he was playing this way and Rich Bisaccia was the coach, it'd be a different conversation. But all of a sudden, you bring in a quarterback expert, offensive-minded coach, and your offense is looking like this? That's unacceptable.
Key, I agree with you it being unacceptable, but it's the same way I look at Russell Wilson to a degree. We look at what quarterbacks are in control to a degree. Like, you're always collaborating with your head coach, but you want a demonstrative leader, right? So regardless of who the head coach is, if your quarterback is elite, then they're the ones saying, this is what I see you in the field. This is how I'm going to make it happen. Hey, I have the best weapon in the NFL. He's going to get more than 5 targets today. There's still something that feels, I get what the off-the-field challenges are and the schemes, but at the end of the day, when you're on the field, you could change the schemes if you see something that's worth you changing.
Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers at their best will be better or worse with good or bad coaching, but they're not going to be bad. And Derek Carr has not been good this year.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.